Back at you again with another one. So, after the post-match review against the game against Leeds United, I sort of mentioned that I don't think Aubameyang has the personnel or the characteristics to be our captain. And from our sort of poor performances and form recently, he hasn't really sort of delivered and made a mark as a captain. I have no issues with Aubameyang. Actually, I am one of his biggest fans, and I think he's one of our better players. So if I was to conduct a list of players I'd keep and leave, Aubameyang would definitely be one of the first names on the list I'd keep at the club. So I don't have an issue with Aubameyang and the way he plays. I just don't think he's captain material. So this video here, I'll be going into details as to why I believe this young Scotsman should be our captain. And that's pretty a decent image of him with his so-called Tesco bag and his sort of shield there, because he pretty much encapsulates what we want as a defender. He's very passionate, he's very driven, he's hardworking, no nonsense. Now, let me just give you an example. Yeah. So we usually see KT with his shirt tucked in. And I saw an interview where Ian Wright asked him why he did that. And he just said that he felt as if he's not completely ready to go on the pitch and play. And once he tucks his shirt in, that's a sign to say, I'm ready, let's go, let's start. Then, on the other hand, you see Hector Bellerin. He sees that and he's thinking, oh, mate, that's a good fashion trend. Let me bring back here old school footballers' fashion to a new trend. And that's the mentality difference. Kieran Tierney sees it as, you know what, old school, rigid. Let's put, tuck in our shirts. Let's go out there. Let's do this. Hector Bellerin, yeah, mate, fashion show. That was quite good. Yeah, that's a bit a classic one, ain't it? Yeah. And that just goes so much more. We spoke about the Tesco bag incident. Most footballers, let's be honest, they are very, very wealthy. They are in decent positions where they're earning thousands a week. KT is one of these guys, but he's still very humble. He's not going to go around putting his stuff in the latest designer brands. He just rather get a 10p Tesco's plastic bag, put your stuff in there, like I used to do back in sort of school. Whenever I had PE, I'd stuff all my stuff in either Tesco's, JD's bag. Do you remember that one round your sort of back with the little strings? Whenever you bought any trainers from JD's, that's what I would take. So the fact that he does that, it sort of relates to a lot of fans. So some of you might be thinking, but is KT really captain material? Because we haven't really seen him lead at Arsenal yet. But for me personally speaking, this guy is a great captain, and he does have experience in captain. So if we sort of see on the screen here, he was the captain at Celtic, and from a young age, I believe, as well. And if I'm correct, he is vice captain of Scotland national team. I know Robertson's the main captain, but I have seen Kieran Tierney being a captain there. I can remember the game against Netherlands a few years back where Tierney was a captain. So I'm not sure if he's still vice captain. If anyone knows more about the Scottish national team setup, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure he is the vice captain there. So he does have the experience, even though he's 23 years of age. But for me, there's two types of captain. There's a type of captain that's a bit more vocal, out there. You're talking about the great leaders we've had in the past. And when I'm talking about some of the great leaders, I'm sort of referring to this. Not him, but yeah, him. That legend there that we had in Patrick Vieira, he was very vocal. He was very driven, and he sort of demanded respect from everyone. I've even sort of read Roy Keane's autobiography, and he just spoke about when you would see Vieira in a tunnel, there's something about his aura that you sort of gravitate towards him and you respect him immediately. And it's not a coincidence, let's be honest, that since this man here left, we've not won a major trophy. FA Cups are great and everything, but let's be honest, we all want the Champions League, we all want the Premier League. is there a coincidence that for whatever reason, since we had a leader like a Vieira, so sorry, what I mentioned, you have two types of captain. You have the ones who are more vocal and they sort of lead by sort of at times having to demand more of the players. They're vocal in the way they lead. Then you have others who lead by example, like your sort of Thierry Henry's, like Aubameyang right now. And if I'm honest with you, I'm not a fan of that type of leadership. That's only because when you have games where things aren't going your well, those type of players they might go missing in a game. Whereas you might have a player who is slightly mediocre, but if they've got that drive, they're a leader. They for whatever reason bring everyone around them up. So when I'm sort of referring to the latter type of leader, which I prefer, someone who's like a manager on the field. So at times you're not going to hear the manager sort of instructions from whilst you're on the pitch when the manager's on the sidelines. But when you've got that secondary manager on the pitch, it can influence and change things. When I'm sort of referring back to a few games this season so far, looking at the game against Leicester, looking at the game against Leeds United, we didn't have anyone there to just sort of, once we were a bit down, especially with the whole Pepe incident, a decent captain like a Vieira would have seen a Pepe Alioski incident and intervened and be like, Pepe, stop that. You go over there. Alioski, you fuck off on my man. You come near him. That's me and you done. Do you know what I mean? And Aubameyang is just a bit head down, just plodding along. And it's where is he to drive the team up when we are in situations that we've been so many times this season when we've looked flat? There hasn't been anyone there to ignite the fire and to sort of spur us on. Bad usage of words, not spur us on, but drive us on. So it's not a coincidence when I look back at the major trophies we won in recent history that it's come for sort of vocal leaders. When you look referring to sort of Patrick Vieira, when you're referring to this legend here as well, Tony Adams, they were the type of leaders I sort of see in the Kieran Tierney mode, where they are vocal, where they'll speak up. And Kieran Tierney does have a reputation as well to help his sort of fellow teammates out. So there's been quite a few incidents so far this season and last season when I've sort of seen Kieran Tierney being a bit vocal. I can't remember, was it a game against Leeds United when he was running with the ball, driving with the ball, and he saw the likes of Willock or Willian in particular not making a run, just sort of standing there. You could see him pointing at them, saying, run into those positions. He doesn't care. Kieran Tierney doesn't care. I've seen Kieran Tierney have a go at Aubameyang, a go at Lacazette, and that's what it's all about. Not to be timid, to be a proper leader, to go out there and be very vocal, demand the best and the most from your players. And that's why when I sort of refer to some of these incidents, him backing his man, if we sort of look at last week's incident, when he saw this fucking fraud, this fraud here, excuse my language, sorry, this fraud with his arms around Alioski. Yes, I get it, you're best mates, whatever you are, don't care about your relationship. But when you're on that field for 90 minutes, your enemy, and the only person, that's your sort of your allegiances are your teammates. You put your teammates first. After 90 minutes, mate, Shaka, call up Alioski if you like. Go out for dinner. Do what you need to do. But on that pitch, when the cameras are on, you show no allegiance to your mates. Your teammates are, your only dependent allies there on the field. So I didn't like that, but Granit Xhaka. And when I hear people say, "Oh, Granit Xhaka's a decent captain," no, he ain't. I can't envision Tierney doing the same thing. Where if he saw one of his mates that he played with Celtic, I can't see him sort of having his arms around him, especially if that mate was a reason why, his exaggeration caused us a red card. Yes, Alioski didn't get us a red card. It was Pepe's fault. But he exaggerated and he brought light to the attention so that referee could go to the monitor and VAR looked into it and Pepe gets a sending off. Smart play by Alioski, can't blame him, but he did make a massive meal out of it. And Tierney has every right to go at Xhaka for seeing that incident. Now, this is not the only time where we've seen Kieran Tierney defending his teammates. Now, I'm sort of going back to some of the earlier Europa League. I can't remember if it was his first Europa League game. It wasn't this incident, but it was another incident where I can't remember where the guy sort of squared up to Martinelli, and Tierney, for whatever reason, he saw that, saw red, went in, intervened, and that's proper captain material. Difference is, you might see some issues going on around the field when Auba's there, but he's very, very reluctant to sort of take charge, to intervene. And I feel as a captain, that's what you should do. You need to be there all the time. So these are my reasons for why I think Kieran Tierney should be our captain. And as I said, it's not a coincidence, since the likes of Vieira, the likes of Tony Adams have left, we haven't won a major trophy, and that's because we don't have any real leaders. So this is my review, and as to why I believe KT is our captain. Let me know if you agree, if you also believe this man here should be our captain, or if you think maybe I'm just waffling and I'm just making no sense. But I just feel as if, why remain with a status quo with the likes of Aubameyang when things aren't going right? He's not really doing anything to ignite the team. Maybe we start looking at a more vocal captain, and maybe there's a reason why there's a strong correlation to the last time we won major trophies. We had these type of leaders, and since we haven't, we've had the likes of Van Persie, Cesc Fabregas, Thierry Henry, now Aubameyang. We've got these type of captains who lead by example. Then we had William Gallas, and I don't even know what kind of captain he is. He's not a captain in my opinion. But these are my reasoning anyways for why I believe young KT should be our captain. If you could please let me know if you agree, disagree, or any opinion. And if you do disagree, if you could please let me know on the comment section below. Who would you have as captain? Well, thank you so much for joining me again. Take care until next time.